Good evening. It's so great to see all of you once again. My wife, I sent her out to stop at the store to pick up some of these. If I happen to pull this out tonight, please forgive me. And if you have one that you want to join in with me, you're welcome. Welcome to join in. So we're going to start this concert with a piece by John Williams. And this may sound like a coincidence, and it is. My students said to me, Mr. Lois, do you realize what the day of our concert is? And I said, yeah, May 4th. Yeah, we're doing Star Wars. I said, so, May the 4th be with you, right? So we're going to open up with some John Williams. Here's Star Wars. What a way to start a concert. Good job, man. Well, next on the program is a little bit of Beethoven. Now, when we started out in September, we started over from square one. Those of you who have students in the band, you'll remember that the kids got their instruments in the middle of April. They had a few lessons to get jump-started with Mr. J, and then when we came back in the fall, we started back with our first note. And hopefully you've heard the progress throughout the year. And now here we are playing John Williams and Beethoven. How cool is that? Yeah. Well, this next work is one that needs no introduction. This is Beethoven's Ninth, also known as the Ode to Joy. The students were doing so well with their other material that we only added this piece a week ago. 3 practices. Here's Beethoven's Ninth. Our next selection is a challenge. What a good one. Much trickier than the other two pieces you just heard. This next piece is titled Shepherd's Hay. It's a Moorish dance tune, an Irish tune, and it was attributed, at least the band version of it was attributed to Percy Aldridge Granger. Granger was born in Australia and came to the United States. He served in the United States military, and he wrote for military bands. Now, there happens to be another director that I know in Skokie, Chip DiStefano, and Chip made an arrangement of Granger's arrangement of the Moorish dance tune. So this is Shepherd's Hay, an arrangement of an arrangement. I have one quick announcement before we welcome our guest up front here. Students, keep the momentum going. You are playing fantastically. Great job. Yeah. So when I walked into the gym this evening, I noticed a treats table. And I suspect we're going to have a celebration at the end of this event. We're going to celebrate a lot of things. Our students, their families, and this being my final concert here at Tasca. So, I know that I have many former students in the audience. If I could have them stand, I would love to see you. Thank you so much for being here and making my night. Thanks to all of you. And of the individuals that just stood up, a bunch of them have kids in the program right now. So I also see some teachers here from Peacock, both present and past, and my high school band director, Mr. T. learned the love of music from Mr. Telesco. Thanks, Paul. And from Alma and many other people. There's Ron back there. Ron got me ready for my college audition back when I was a high school punk. Thanks, Ron. Well, I started out to say this announcement. The concert band will not rehearse tomorrow morning, probably because I'm going to be here late this evening. But we will have Thursday lessons. Get those practice cards signed. I'm still your teacher. Get those cards in. And we're going to have lessons tomorrow, but we won't have rehearsal tomorrow. And then in the program, I listed the parade practice schedules. I think at the top of the list of people we need to be grateful to, it's our veterans. And we're going to honor them at Memorial Day. And if I could quickly have our veterans just stand to be recognized, I would appreciate that. Veterans? Thank you for your service and for making this possible for us. We're not going to let them down. We're going to work so hard for Memorial Day that they'll be proud when we play patriotic music, okay? Well, at this time, we have our big finale of the first half. We're going to invite our guest composer in residence, Mr. Brian Belmages. On your chairs, you probably have seen his biography. Mr. Belmages has had his music performed throughout the world. He is conducted in concert halls on almost every continent. He's been to many countries. His works have been performed by Pershing's own United States Army Band. The Marine Corps Band has played his works. The Baltimore Symphony has played his works. Elementary through college musicians have played his works. He is the only composer in history who had a piece of music announced from the International Space Station right before the downbeat. Now, if you ask your kids what they've been doing the last 2 days, and they say, we've been playing with fire, there's some truth to that. At this time, we're going to welcome our symphonic band, who's going to join our concert band, and then in a moment we're going to bring up Mr. Belmages. Symphonic band, come up. Concert band, you're going to need to rearrange to your Fire's Fury seat. So let's do the arrangement right now.
And so the Fire's Fury is all about the idea of this spectacular, incredible vision, this incredible power that sometimes seems almost uncontrollable, unpredictable, chaotic, yet at the same time, there's a certain amount of beauty about it. And we try to capture all of that, okay? And so I'm so thrilled to share with you now the world premiere of The Fire's Fury.
you so much for your patience. Wow, I worked up an appetite, yeah. Okay. Well, Mr. Balmages and I have worked together in the publishing industry, and I submitted a work of a father and son duo. I called it Strauss in the House. I thought that was clever. And it contained Radetzky March and the Blue Danube, but somehow a march and a waltz just kind of didn't fit side by side. So we separated them. This is Radetzky March, and there is a tradition which you're about to learn about. Every year in Vienna on New Year's Day, the Vienna Philharmonic plays this piece, and the audience claps along. At this time, I'd like to introduce our MOC, Master of Clapping, Mr. Brian Balmages.
Yeah, so normally the MOC is the Master of Ceremonies, but I think Master of Clapping is just, I don't know, at least much more physical, if nothing else. So I am going to be in charge of leading all of you in the clapping. The easy way to explain it is you're always going to clap on beats 1 and 3, which is usually what people do who don't know anything about music in a concert, when they're accidentally clapping on 1 and 3 instead of 2 and 4. But now we're going to be on 1 and 3. And there are going to be several times where we start together, there are going to be several times where we'll stop and then we'll restart. And it's going to happen about 4 times, and you're going to have to be aware of the volume that I'm clapping at as well. All right, so I will be sure to cue you. I've been practicing my whole life for this moment. So, does require a lot of our audience participation. So just make sure that you're watching me, and it'll be just like we are at the proms when the Vienna Philharmonic performs out in Europe. So I would like to kick it off with Mr. Lobst and the symphonic band performing the Radetzky March.
Well, I believe at the last concert, and actually throughout each of the concerts, we've played our alma mater, our school song. This is Hail Blue and White. This is a piece that I wrote toward the end of the struggles that we have been going through. And I was so blessed to hear that the school board approved this as our official alma mater. It's called Hail Blue and White, and at this time we're going to welcome back, just off of her tour of Peter Pan, our lead vocalist, Liliana Alarcon. Would you please come on? Thanks again. That was great vocals. Nice job, Liliana. Through the years as a music teacher, we get to, well, we've got the greatest subject matter, music. And you come across pieces of all different styles and forms from all different parts of the world. This particular piece, this next one, is one that has always been a hit and a winner with our students, not only here, but everywhere. I've had the chance to conduct this in Youngstown, Ohio, and in Eugene, Oregon, and it doesn't matter where I go, this piece really resonates with the students and with the audience. It's titled Celtic Air and Dance No. 2, and it has two Irish folk songs, Danny Boy, and then Star of the County Down. We really hope you enjoy this next one. Here is Celtic Air and Dance No. 2. At this time, I'd like to welcome back Mr. Brian Belmages. And he's going to tell you about Action Scene.
So before we do Action Scene, I want to take a moment and just say a word or two. I want to start with the students, if I may. In case you didn't know, the last 2 years has been a little difficult for instrumentalists. A lot of you have seen what suddenly happens when we try to do band and chorus and everything on Zoom. And we've seen the impact that the lack of the socialization has had on the students, and across the country we have seen a lot of students who kind of said, you know what, it's just not fun anymore, I don't want to do it. And one of the things that I have been celebrating this whole year, but especially the last 2 days, is the two groups that you are hearing tonight. Yes, some of these groups are a little bit smaller than they've been in the past, but in my mind, these groups may be smaller, but they are by far mightier than groups that we've had in decades. And let me tell you why. Because these are the students that loved it so much that they didn't care what the modality was. They didn't care about the environment and whether or not it was always every day the most fun, and whether or not they got a chance to go into the band room and the choir room before school and after school and hang out with their friends, and the social aspect and the trips and the festivals. They just wanted to play. They just wanted to play, and despite everything in the world that was thrown at them, not only are they playing, but they're playing really well. And I think these are heroes. Speaking of heroes, I want to take a moment and just address Mr. Lopes. We all know that it takes a village. And sometimes it takes just one person to create that village. And the way you hear them playing, right? It's actually not him that did it. I taught them everything in the last 2 days. They couldn't play before this, and it's all my... Thank you very much. Check his email. Okay. I've now been here 3 times over the span of over a decade. And no matter what, whenever I walk in these doors, I meet kids who, number one, play extraordinarily well with extraordinary sounds every time. There's no, well, I just happen to have a good ear. It's every time. And those of you that used to be in this band, you know that. But the other thing that I see consistently are the most respectful, kind, with the greatest personalities, sometimes really great, willing to do anything and everything they can, willing to sign up before school, after school. And I think a lot of that is because of the environment that he creates for them. And I know that this is his last concert, but I truly believe that, number one, the legacy and the impact is certainly not over, and it's just beginning. And the other thing that I truly believe is that I think all of us know that once Mr. Lewis retires, he's going to be in such demand that he's not going to be sure how he even had time to work, because he'll be so busy doing clinics and guest conducting and maybe even subbing, and maybe, I don't know what we have in store. Right? So I just want to take a moment and make sure that in addition to recognizing the incredible work that the kids are doing, we have a true star. And that star, I believe, is going to continue to rise. But I just want to take a moment moment and acknowledge the incredible career, which I think is only beginning. I think I got that all right. He gave me a paper to read, and I tried to memorize it all. Action scene. So, as I mentioned earlier, when we first did a Zoom session, I started asking them, what do you want? And everybody kept saying, I want good flute parts. I want good second clarinet parts, right? I want good trombone parts. I want a great bass line in the tuba. We want good percussion parts. And they kept saying, we want action in this part. And we want action in this instrument. We want action. And suddenly it became very clear to me, they want an action scene. And so I wrote for them, literally, action scene. And the unique thing about this music is that normally, whenever we hear music for an action scene, the composer is given the action scene, and then they write the music to go along with it. I decided, let's flip that on its head. Let's give them the music, and then they can start to imagine what the scene is about. And so I encourage you to do that right now. As you're listening to this, we know it's an action scene, but for each one of you, it might be a slightly different type of action scene. For some of you, it might be kind of like a spy thriller. For some of you, it might be an invasion, an alien invasion. For some of you, it might be a car chase scene. It could be anything. And for each one of them, it's something unique too. It's a great way to bridge this idea of imagination and creativity in the world around us, programmatic with the music itself. They've worked really, really hard. I know for a fact that when they first heard the electronic version that I sent to them, some of them actually said to Mr. Lose, are we going to be able to play this? Fortunately, I knew it was Mr. Lose that was going to be teaching them, and guess what? Boy, ever can they play it. So this is action scene.
I had a great dinner last night with some very close friends. And I was reminded of the importance of friends and family and faith in God and community. And all of you are that for me. Thank you so much for 36 years. You've blessed me and my family more than you could ever know. And I think Mr. Balmages is right. You can't take the music out of the musician. I have a wonderful family that I'm going to be spending more time with. And who knows, it might even be in a tropical place. Calypso Bay is our next piece, by the way. There's a little message in Calypso Bay. I had my first piece of music published in 1995, and I thought I was a big shot. It was published by Warner Brothers, and it bombed. And that piece sold more copies in Canada than right here in the United States. Incidentally, the piece ended up as background music on a radio commercial for Fox Valley Coins. Now, I guess they're a good business. I can promote it. What the heck? And it ended up on some Nick Jr. episodes. And Mr. Travis even fell asleep on the sofa one night, and he woke up in the middle of the night and he said, "I heard Spirit of Excellence." Well, that piece was such a bomb that when I submitted my second work to Warner Brothers, they said, "Our catalog for next year is full. Thank you for the submission." But the thing is, I didn't give up. And this is what I want all of you to know. Don't give up, ever. Don't give up. Don't give up. My very true story, my very first rehearsal here at Peacock, the first chair flute player kept her instrument on her lap for the whole rehearsal. And afterward I asked her, I said, "Kristen, what happened? You didn't play a note." She looked up at me and said, "Why should I play? You're not going to be here next year anyway." And that was 36 years ago. You see, I was the 5th band director in a 7-year period. And I realized that we had some rebuilding to do. And now we have to do that again. And District 10, the administration, this community, and the teachers, they love your children. They're going to hire the best candidate they can to carry on the good work that all of us have shared for decades. And just as the rest of the kids in that room were in my corner, I need you guys to be in the corner of the next teacher. And if you're going to Lake Park, be in Mr. Lehman's corner. Because when we work together, and when we share music, it's the greatest thing. So now, the conclusion to the story. I took my Calypso Bay back from Warner Brothers, and I sent it to a company in Iowa, and it was the second best-selling piece that year. And when you don't give up and you persevere, no matter what, good things happen. And even when the road gets rocky, you can hold your chin up and say, "I did my best, and that's good enough for me." All right, let's close with Calypso Bay, and then we'll go into our award ceremony. You know, when Mr. Belmay just talked about taking a village, we've got a great music booster board here that has just helped us immensely. And I have Mrs. Torres and Mrs. Seavey, and I saw Herbie, our treasurer, and Mrs. Epicon. Do we have, can I have all of the boosters stand up, please? And past boosters as well. Past boosters, too. Come on, Thank you so much. Okay, I know we're all dying for cupcakes, but this final leg of the journey is really important, and especially to these hardworking students who have persevered. So we're going to do this in an orderly fashion as follows. I'm going to read the award and the students' names. They'll get their award, come on up front, and then we'll applause for that group, okay? First of all, I'd like all of our sixth graders to stand. Sixth graders, yeah, let's give them applause. Sixth graders, when you do this, hold those bronze medals up and dangle those things. Yeah. There we go. Thank you, sixth grade. You may have a seat. Now, parents, you've got to keep them in band for at least 2 more years because you just can't stop at the bronze. You got to earn the silver. Can I have the 7th graders stand up and show off those silver medals? There you go. That's 7th graders. And now to complete the trifecta, the 8th graders, show off the gold. Now, who knows what traditions the next director is going to take and run with, but if I have my say, I'm going to put some pressure that we keep that going. All right, we have had 4 student mentors who participated in 2 bands, and they were 6th graders, and we would like these students first go up to the table, get your award, then come on up front, face the audience, and then we'll apply. These are the student mentors. We have Franco Casella, Charlotte Daly, Cameron Robinson, and Vivian Stoyanovich. Oh, don't turn around just yet, Franco. And here's Cameron. Our student mentors, yes! Thank you. Now, when you are faced with adversity, not only did a lot of these kids step up, but they step up in a big way, and 7 of them covered more than 1 instrument. A lot of them covered a 2nd instrument in jazz band. And we're going to have these musicians get their instrumentation award for playing more than 1 instrument. And again, go to the table and then come on up front and then we applaud. Jack Arway, Will Bierman, Joyce Chen, Enoch Lee, Anthony Lakakis, Adri Mahesh, and Christopher E. Whether it be bass guitar or bell trombone or piano or drum set or conga drums, thank you for taking double duty and helping us through a tough but great year. These are our instruments. You know, some organizations give out a Most Improved Award. Well, we're not most organizations. we have a most rapidly improved award. These musicians really skyrocketed over the course of this year at a surprising rate that really also caught me by surprise. And we're going to issue them their awards right now. Let's see if I got this. I'm going to have to take a look. Okay, let's have Charlotte Daly, William Cord, and Massimo Polisi come on up and make the most rapid award. Right up front here. Yeah, hold those high for the audience to see. All right. Our next batch is going to be a big batch. And we're going to bring them all up front. We're going to take a picture with me and this group of musicians. These are our graduating musicians. And at this time, please get your award. We're going to need to have about half of you on this side, about 10 over here, and about 10 over here. We'll start in alphabetical order. John Ademi, Jack Arway, Satya V. Marasetti, Kieran Borkart, Joyce Chen, William Cord, Maggie Eaglin, Hubert Gneidet, Partha Anabolu, Amelia Coletta. Let's have those musicians fill this side of the podium. One of our hardworking horn players who's not here tonight, Gavin Laughlin. We want to recognize Gavin. Let's send out good thoughts to Gavin. We've got Enoch Lee, Anthony Lakakis. Oh, the rest of you come over here. Right, starting here. And Moksh Malhotra, Ariana Messick, Patrick Polish, Nicoletta Pisanto, Matthew Poe, Devar Shaw, Joseph Torres, Christopher Yee. And if I missed any 8th graders, please let me know. No, let's come on down here. Some of you can get up on my pedestal. There you go. Yeah. So this is what it's going to feel like in about 4 or 5 years, all right? Is it awesome? All right. Oh, he's ready to reach for the baton. Let's have a round of applause for our graduates. Now I'm going to give you guys an assignment. You're going to go over to Lake Park, you're going to knock them dead, and you're going to say, hey, Mr. Lehman, where's my graduating musician award? Well, you got to stick it through 4 more years. Remember, never give up. All right, thanks. Have a seat. One more round. We have a jazz band award, and no other school in the country, or in the world for that matter. Are we okay? I told the kids, are you okay? Yeah. All right, we're going to get that fixed. I put the order in back in March, and I said, I need these by April 15th. Monday, I get an email. Can we bring them to the school tomorrow, Tuesday? And I said, no, I'll be there Monday night to pick them up. And I didn't have the opportunity with all of the work we've been doing with our composer residents to get the proofreading done. So we're going to take care of that for you, Nicoletta. She got an extra T in her first name. All right. Oh, all right. So now we're moving on. Where are we? Jazz band. Thank you. Yeah, back to that story. There was a great jazz writer, and I played a piece in middle school band called Free Spirit. It was by Sammy Nestico, and Sammy was an arranger for Count Basie, and he also arranged jazz for military bands. But like Mr. Balmages, Sammy Nestico also wrote music for young ensembles. And like Sammy Nestico, the music that he wrote for young ensembles was still professional music. It was just at a more approachable grade level. So we started a Sammy Nestico Jazz Band Award. And then after a couple years, I got guilty because I never asked Sammy for permission. So I sent Mr. Nestico an email. You know, Google can find some strange things, right? And I got a hold of him, and I said, we've been honoring you with a jazz award. Can we keep the tradition alive? And he was flattered. He said, absolutely. Normally we give out maybe 2 or 3. This year we have 6 Sammy Nestico Jazz Band Award winners. And these musicians are Jack Arway, Joyce Chen, hold on, Jack Arway, Joyce Chen, Enoch Lee, Matthew Poe, Joseph Torres, and Christopher Yee. You can stand up here. There we go. Sammy Nestico Award. Thank you. Okay, don't get too comfortable up here. You can have a seat. In the concert symphonic realm, we have another award called the Significant Achievement Award. And this award is going to go to 4 students for really outstanding musicianship. But, you know, as Mr. Balmages said, and as you heard, they're all outstanding musicians. The 4 that we're going to recognize for this award are Jack Arway, Joyce Chen, Joseph Torres, and Devar Shah. Yeah, the Significant Achievement Award. You can stand on it. Yeah. Thank you. You know, some parents are going to have to put an addition on the house to take care of this, right? All right, have a seat, guys. We are almost there. VFW buglers. So we mentioned the Memorial Day Parade, and I mentioned that the rehearsal schedules in the program, and we recognize our veterans. Every year we provide 2 buglers to play echo taps at the ceremony that remembers our fallen veterans. And this year, our VFW buglers are Joseph Torres and John Ademi. Congratulations, man. Finally, to lead the parade, we need a drum major. That's the person in charge, the student musician who's going to lead the band through the streets of Itasca. And this is always a surprise. I keep this information concealed. So these musicians don't know who it's going to be. But now it's time for us to recognize our drum major for the upcoming parade, Amelia Coletta. First lesson, repeat after me. Band 10 hut.
Band 10 hut.
Band 10 hut.
Band 10 hut.
We'll work on it. Amelia. I've got one more award. For 25 years, I've gotten up at 5:30 in the morning, drank my sorry self into the shower, and my wife Cindy has been in the kitchen getting my breakfast ready and packing my lunch. And there have been times we've called her the band widow because, well, Mr. Travis and we spend a lot of time here. And I'd like to have my wife Cindy come up, my son Soren, and I've got a coffee mug for you, Cindy. Come on up.
I'm the president of the ITS Music Boosters, and it is my distinct honor tonight to be able to close out our award ceremony. I might get emotional, that's okay too. Mr. Loest and this program are incredibly special, and I've had 4 kids go through this program, so I know what a loss this will be, but like Mr. Loest said, District 10 believes in this program, and I am sure that he will not let them hire somebody who wouldn't carry on the tradition. So first and foremost, I want to thank our conductor in residence, Mr. Val Mages. We have a little something for you. So there's a little something in there in case that happens on the way back.
Say that.
Mr. Loest, I lied to you. I told you we had a targeted scholarship, which is all baloney. We do have a scholarship, but it is not targeted. It is an appreciation and recognition of you. So you guys saw the awards. Forest Awards has been our award provider for a while. They write checks to us all the time. And when I called them and said, you know, these are important to Mr. Loest, we want to be able to do the same thing for him, they said, what can we do for you? So they have actually left you a little gift on your desk, and happy retirement. But I want to read what this signifies because it's what would be important to Mr. Loest. He said, should we name the band room after him? And Mr. Travis said, he never really liked the band room. So the plaque that I'm about to hand you says, in appreciation and recognition of 36 years of dedication to the students of FEPCOT band program, the Itasca Music Boosters hereby establish the Timothy Loest Legacy Scholarship. This annual scholarship will be awarded to one student who demonstrates outstanding musicianship within the FEPCOT band program. Thank you for giving your life's work to our students. May 4th, 2000. Scholarship, it's going to be in the amount of $750. Which student do you think is supposed to start paying? And he said, can I think about it? And I said, sure, no problem. So he called me back a few days later. He said, Marianne, I really believe in my 36 years of teaching, I haven't come across a student who has worked harder and been more dedicated. And so I'd really like this individual to get the award. And I said, okay. You told me 36 years, you had no idea that this was part of the Legacy Scholarship, but I'll take your word for it. So, Charlotte Daly. sure that you've entrusted it to people who believe in carrying that message that you've always brought to everybody. So thank you. We do have a music stand in the back that we're going to ask the students and alumni to please stand for families. We will be sending that home with Mr. Lose to keep as a keepsake as he works on his next musician projects. There's also some note cards in the back if you'd like to leave a message of personal inspiration for what Mr. Lose has given to you, and then please enjoy the cupcakes. Thank you.
So, I guess my closing words are this. And this is a teacher and me coming out. Through the ups and downs, there are a lot of things that get us through. And we have each other, our family, our friendship, and our faith. And pray for this district. This is a special blessing that you have been given. And God will acknowledge your prayers, and we will continue to be blessed. And that is a strong tool that you have in your toolbox. So in addition to this legacy scholarship, if you could keep that in mind as you move forward, I would appreciate it, because I will be keeping all of you in my prayers. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's party.